This is Prophet Blaine, and you are listening to Worship Radio International, the world's #1 online Christian radio station.
Is there a cause? Family, this is Al with Coaching by Al. I am your host on the Coaching by Al show. Thank you for joining us. You are watching Worship Radio International, and you're probably watching on Facebook, or you're listening on one of our other outlets, Spotify, TuneIn. You may be watching later on YouTube. Could be watching again on Facebook, or you could be watching on worshipradio.faith. That's where you want to go, worshipradio.faith. That's where you want to be, not only to check out this program, but every other program that's on this network. Is there a cause? That's what we're going to be talking about today. I hope you are ready. First thing you need to do is what? You need to let somebody know, hey, Al is on the air. You need to share this. Please do that now. I trust that you love me. I trust that I've been kind enough in your life to where you trust me. Show me some love by sharing this video. Show me some love by liking this video. We're live right now. This is not happening at some other time. This is actually happening right now. We are talking about your cause. Is there a cause? Is there not a cause for all of you Bible scholars out there? All right. Al, what are you talking about, man? First of all, let me give some love out to my wife. Hey, baby. Love you, girl. And my little Nala. Nala. Daddy loves you. We call her the Bean. And then also to my niece who's at home with my wife and my daughter, Charity. Call her the Bear. Love you so much. God's Holy Temple Church family. To my father and my sister who is on their way back from out of town, Arkansas. I love you. Everybody. I love you. 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 Is there a cause? Is there a cause? That's what we're talking about today. What do you mean, Al? What I'm talking about is when you get ready to think about all that is coming to you, because that's usually what we focus on the most, right? We're focusing on how do I get this and how do I get that, or how do I get more of this and how do I get more of that? Do you ever stop to think about how much you give? How much do you give? Do you have a cause? Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you have a cause? Is there something in your life that underpins or serves as a foundation of why you're trying to get so much? Why are you trying to get so much? Why do you need to be a millionaire? For those of you who are claiming and confessing millions, billions, and trillions, why do you need it? Do you have a cause? Do you have a reason? Do you have something in your life that you are giving toward? Do you have something in your life that you are pouring out from that would allow the understanding at least to be there to say, oh, this is the reason why he needs or she needs the millions, billions, and trillions, because she has a ministry. She has an outreach. She has a program. She has something that she does, or he has something that he does that is benefiting society. Is that your story? Do you have that kind of story at all? That's what I want to talk about today. And I'm going to need your input to do it. So what I'm asking for is if you will stay tuned to this, share it with someone, make sure you like it, and then also put a chat in the comment box. I know many of you watch, and sometimes you don't necessarily share. And I understand sometimes you just feel like, hey, do I need to share? Do I need to say anything? Maybe I'll just listen. That's fine, but I want you to share. I want you to share it, and I want you to comment. That's what I mean by sharing. I want you to comment on the show, okay? Because that lets me know where you are. That lets me know that you're listening. It also lets me know that you are hearing what I'm saying and that it's actually having some type of impact in your life. Maybe you have something to share inside of the community that other people can get a chance to benefit from. So, you never know. I just want you to be a part of it. Don't just feel like you just have to listen to me the whole time. I'd much rather that we talk together. Okay? So with that being said, let me get into how this is going to go. The first thing that I want to bring up is an example of what I'm talking about. And what I'm trying to do here at the same time, I'm trying to get into my Facebook account so I can see what's going on, so I can communicate with some of you. I had a little bit of difficulty when we first got started, but that's okay. So this is the thing. In your life, whether now, in the past, or in the future, what I really want you to do is talk with me about how you plan on being a blessing. When we talk about a cause, I'm talking about what is there that is inside of you to do for somebody else. Example, Les Brown. I'm sure many of you know that awesome man, wonderful speaker, somebody that I even try my best to live up to. And of course, I think my father is the greatest of all. But at the same time, his speaking ability, Mr. Les Brown's speaking ability, he was known as the motivator for years, right? He said something to me that was very interesting. Had an opportunity to actually have dinner with him. And he said something that was very interesting. He said the reason why he does what he does, the reason why he goes here and he goes there and he speaks and he does all of this, he said at the time there was a program happening in Chicago where he was mentoring probably over 100 young African American men. And every Monday he would travel to Chicago from wherever he was in the country to be at that program. And the resources that he received as a result of speaking, in other words, his speaking fees, gave him the financial strength to be able to mentor these 100 African American boys. And he did it every week. So whereas someone would have said, well, his passion is speaking. Yeah, he has a passion for speaking. He enjoyed speaking, but his real passion was mentoring. That was his cause. You understand what I'm saying? So he has something that he does. He has an assignment. He has a career, but the reason for the career, the reason for the assignment, the reason for going out there and charging the fees to speak and doing an incredible job at it was so that he could have the resources necessary to mentor the 100 or more African American boys. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to get at is, what is your cause? You understand? What is your cause? And that's what I want you to comment on right now. If you have a cause, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it right now. Let's talk about it right now. I want to see what you have to say. My phone is just acting stupid, so I guess I'm not going to be able to see what you have to say. Let me try this again. See if I can get logged in here, because I'm just having all kinds of fun. I'll tell you something about my cause. First of all, what's important to me more so than anything, what's more important to me than how many people I have following me on Facebook, or what's more important to me than how many people know my name in news and all of that that's not even important to me. What is important to me is two things. Okay, I would shudder if I didn't say three, but I'm going to speak specifically now. I want to be very matter-of-factly, and I want to be very level in what I'm saying. The important things in my life are being a husband and being a father. Those are the two things that absolutely drive me. And many of you may know that from seeing posts I've had on Facebook. All of that, I wake up and I enjoy living and breathing and all of that good stuff in order to be able to spend time with my wife and my daughter. And if the Lord allows more children to come at some point in the future, excellent. I'm all for it, because that's what I'm about. My desire, what I've wanted since I was a child, was to be a husband and a father, because I saw my father be such a wonderful husband and father. So naturally, obviously, I'm thankful that I had such a good upbringing example to see what it was to be a good husband and father. But that's my reason why. If you do not have a why in your life, it causes you not only to be off course, but it causes you to not be able to experience the full joy there is in life. Many of us go to work and we 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 work only to pay bills. I've heard so many people say, and I'm not trying to get into some, racial kind of thing, but you've heard it as well as I've heard it. All I have to do is pay taxes and die. Some of us would say stay black, pay taxes and die. But most of us worldwide pay taxes and die. If that's the only reason you're living, if that's what your waking up and going to sleep to wake up is about, then I'm sorry, but I understand why you're so cranky. I understand why you're so frustrated. I understand why you're so mad, because there is nothing you're living for. All you're doing is trying to, keeping your head above water, making a wave when you can, temporarily. Okay, but you get what I'm saying. If that's all it is, all you're trying to do is make a living, then you're not living. Anybody feel me out there? Aaron, I'm glad you feel me, man. I'm glad you see me. Brother Aaron Gladman, thank you. I think it's a good topic too. And your cause, see, that's, man, love you, man. Aaron says, my cause is fathering, encouraging fatherhood. That's absolutely right. You have to have something that drives you. What is it that wakes you up in the morning with excitement and with energy? And for those of you who say, well, I got kids to take care of too, but, I ain't all that excited about it. Maybe it's because you're thinking incorrectly. I'm just going to be real with you. There's so many people who have this got to attitude about things. I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to go here and I got to go to work and I got to take care of these kids and I got to get some money and I got to put some food on the table and I got to have enough money for back to school clothes. If you would take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'm not trying to throw a guilt trip on you, but if you would take a little bit of time and speak with somebody who wishes they had that opportunity. They wish they had an opportunity to be able to give their children some food or go buy them some school clothes for back to school if they had children, or maybe they had children and now the children are deceased, or the child is deceased for some reason, or maybe the child is sick or in a hospital bed and can't do anything. And then you start thinking about your have to attitude and you'll realize, no, it's not I have to, I get to. I get to take care of my daughter. I get to wake up and take her to the bathroom at night now that she's learning how to use a bathroom all by herself. I get to go out and bring resources into the house for her and for my wife to have a good life. I get to do these things. When you think about it from the right perspective, it'll change your mind and it'll change your heart. And what will happen is you'll find a cause. The cause does not have anything to do with money. The reason why we can't experience the happiness is because we're focused too much on the money. I hope somebody's listening. I hope you catch what I'm saying. If you focus too much on the money, you're going to be miserable. And sometimes it takes us years to figure it out. But you've got to have a cause. You've got to have a reason for doing what you're doing. So then, there's some of us who say, you know what? Well, I have a cause. I really enjoy being in ministry, or I enjoy serving in the church, or I enjoy maybe time with your grandchildren, or whatever it is. I would love to hear about it, and I would love to know. If you're watching right now, and I see that some of you are, then I would love for you also to put into the comments section. First of all, be sure to like it. Be sure to share it. And then thirdly, I want you to put in the comment section, what is your cause? Maybe you have not thought about that yet, to say, what is my cause? What's my real cause? Why do I do what I do? What is it that really genuinely, honestly brings me joy? What is there how do I, here's the question that maybe you need to ask yourself. How do I give back? That sounds really cliche. Okay, let me bring it up to 21st century. Everything operates in a cycle. Everything operates in a cycle. Okay? If you are not contributing to the flow of that cycle, then the cycle is broken. What happens when the cycle? Well, okay, let's talk more about this cycle thing. Okay, because I don't want anybody to think I'm starting to talk some kind of weird, crazy, goofy stuff out of the way. There is I talked about this last Sunday in church. There is a sowing and a reaping. That's cyclical. That's cyclical. It's sowing and reaping. Giving and receiving is cyclical. It happens in cycles. It happens in cycles. Okay? Now, in order for that to maintain, in order for that to stay in balance, in order for the receiving to happen, there has to be some giving. In order for there to be some giving happening, there has to be some receiving. So it's on both sides. Is this prosperity message? No, this is truth. This is word. Okay? So what is your reason for desiring to receive? Some of you say, I want better health. For what? Just so you can feel good? I want true love. I want to be married. For what? Just so you can be out of the singles club? Do you see what I'm saying? I want to have this nice big house. Why? So that it can be just you and just yours and nobody else in there? Well, Al, I don't get a house so everybody else can live in it. But would you be willing to open at least one door and say, if somebody needs somewhere to stay, I'd be willing to give it to them? I remember hearing so many years, my father would talk and he would tell me, or he would say how so many people come to him and say, Pastor, I need a car. Can you pray for me to get a car? Okay, let's pray that you get a car. And then you get a car and you won't pick one person up and bring them to church with you because you don't want nobody to mess up your car. Now, God did all of this wonderful mercy and kindness in showing you favor and grace and got you that vehicle. And now you're the only person that can ride in it, huh? Think about it. What's your cause? What's your reason? This gets into the whole issue of prayer. Why do you go into prayer? Do you pray? First of all, that's number one. But if you go into prayer, why do you pray? Are you praying because you're trying to get God to check out your list of to-dos? You're going to give, I can't say honeydew for a God, a honeydew list, but more like a master do list or holy do list. I don't know. But many times we approach prayer with such a wrong attitude. We approach prayer in a mindset of, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to tell God what I got, what I need. Father, I need this, and Lord, I need that. And Lord, I need you to do this, and Lord, I need you to do that. And Lord, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. If you are a believer and he's God, don't you think that it would make sense for him to tell you what he needs? What he needs you to do? I could not go to my boss when I was in corporate America and say, look, this is what I need. I need this, and I need you to do that, and I need you to do it right away, and do it quickly. Not another second, not a minute, not an hour of another day. No, right now. No, I understand. But what about what he needs? What is your cause? What is your cause? Why do you need what you need? Why do you need that $30,000 car? Why do you need that Rolls Royce Phantom? Why do you need it? Just because. Just because. That's just what I want. That's what, I can tell God the desire of my heart. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is, why? Have you thought about it? In the series that we're covering at church, it's called Foundations. Jesus talks about a man who built his house on sand. He talks about a man also who built his house on a rock. He talks about a man who did not count up the cost sufficiently to find out if what he was doing was worth it, if he was going to be able to finish it. Why do you need what you need? The question isn't, can God do it for me? I hope you are beyond that by now. I mean, I understand maybe, some of us might still be trying to figure it out. Can God do this? God can do anything. The question is, should he? The question is, why? What do you come to him with? What is your cause? I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And he's listening and he's saying, It's just like me and my daughter, okay? My wife and I will go into the store and our daughter will be with us and she's in the basket and everything she sees, can I have this? I want this. I need a toy. In her mind, it's an absolute necessity. It's a need. She needs it. She needs to have that bat and ball. She needs to have that doll. She needs to have that set of fake dishes that will just become a big, huge pile in another bucket of fake dishes, toy dishes, rather. I don't want to call them fake. Nala, don't kick me. Toy dishes, okay? But it's a need to her. She needs it, right? In my mind, as her father, catch this, in my mind, as her father, I'm looking and I'm saying, I hear what you're saying, baby. I know it seems absolutely important to you. I know it seems like you are not going to be able to get through life without it, but I know what you need. That's my mindset, and that's my thought to her. And on a greater scale, by such a greater scale, to the omnipotently umpteenth power, if you could imagine how much greater God's thoughts are than ours, he's looking at you and he's also saying, I understand what you're saying you need, but I know what you need. I know how serious the situation is, and I know how serious it's not. What's your cause? If you're watching and you have a cause, what's your cause? What do you give to? Why do you take so much time out of your day, trade 8 hours of your life or 9 hours of your life for work, another hour or so for transportation to get there and back, another hour to get dressed and ready in the morning, another hour, however much time you have to come home and prepare something to eat so you can get up and do it again? Why do you do it? Are you giving to anybody other than yourself? Are you trying to give to anybody other than yourself? Is it possible that you're losing out on something because you are breaking the cycle? If you are not completing the cycle and making sure that as you are receiving, you are also giving, then you're breaking the cycle. And you know what's going to happen eventually after you break the cycle for so long? What's coming to you stops. What you say, Aaron? I take pride in instilling my boys with my values. Someone will instill their values into your child if you... Oh, come on, preach, brother. Someone will instill your child with the values that they think are important if you don't. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. I couldn't say it any better myself, but I'll try anyway. No, I won't. I won't even try. That's a mic drop right there. Boom. Absolutely agree. I wish I could type it in here, but I can't type that fast. And people would hear silence on the air for about 10 minutes while I'm trying to pick at the letters. But I thank you for sharing that. That's absolutely right. What do you do? Is it your family? Is it your friends? Maybe there might be somebody out there who's willing to give something to a local charity, somewhere that can help people who need help. One of the things that we did for our church for many years, and we will still do again, we would find causes to donate to as a church congregation. So there was Wigs for Kids. How many understand what that means? Wigs for Kids. Children who are battling life-threatening diseases that oftentimes causes their hair to fall out. You understand what I'm talking about. And you can imagine what that must be like for a child when they're feeling like a sore thumb in the crowd, when they're feeling like they're different from everybody else. So there's a foundation who said, let's get together, let's do something so we can help the children live as best as we can help them to live a normal life to where they don't have to feel like they're being criticized and ridiculed by other children who have not socially developed yet and have a tendency to be a bit raw. Okay, so the Wigs for Children Foundation provides such resources for families and for the children, and we donate to that. That's a cause. You need to have something to donate toward. And I'm not talking about just giving your money only. You need to be able to donate your time. You have resources like money, yes, but you also have talent. What are you giving your talent toward? What are you giving your time toward? One of the best commercials I remember us airing, it was a public service announcement when I used to work for the television station. Shouts out to Pastor Dr. Glenn Plummer, the owner of the first African American Christian television network in the country, who was so kind as to give me a job many, many, many moons ago. And one of the things that aired on the network was a public service announcement, and it said simply, you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. In other words, all you have to do is be willing to give your time to someone who needs it. Children are not asking for the world. They're not asking for you to, explain the secrets of the universe. You don't have to know quadratic equations. You don't have to know differential equations and calculus and mathematics and all that. No. How about when you go to the store, you take a child with you? How about when you go out during your day to go shopping, you just take a child with you? They had this Big Brother, Big Sister program. I don't know if they even still have that like that anymore, because there's been so many different things that have happened where people have done rude things and caused it to, kind of taint the idea or the thought process. But the whole point is there's somebody around you who could benefit. Maybe it's a family member. Are you trying? So, okay, there was that. Then there was the Wounded Warriors Project. That's another thing that our church gave to. Wounded Warriors Project. And I don't mean just one time. I mean, we consistently. Wounded Warriors Project. So those people who are going overseas, those who, some of us have the audacity to criticize and to rebuke and ridicule. And listen, they're serving their country. Hats off to you. Thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. And they go and they sacrifice life and limb so that the United States of America, this country that we live in, can continue to experience what we experience. Is it perfect? It's home. If your home is perfect, then please invite me over so I can see how it runs. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's home. But the point is that when they come back home, they should have all the respect and honor and admiration that this country can provide. And they should not have to go in search of anything, because it should be right there for them after you have sacrificed your limbs, after you have put your life on the line for your country. So we gave to the Wounded Warrior Project. That's a cause. What I'm talking to you about is, what are you doing beyond your own belly to satisfy someone? If you are not giving anything, you are missing a huge part of the joy of life. How many of you have heard the scripture? And I know it's old, but it actually is there's so many scriptures that just popped into my mind right now for that. But let me go into another point. I talked about this last Sunday too. Everybody knows Luke 6:38, right? I'm sure you could sing it. I'm sure you could say it. I'm sure you know it by heart. Come on, let's sing it. 1, 2, 3. Give and it shall be given unto you, right? A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give unto your bosom. What? For with the same measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. These are the words of Jesus, Yeshua, the Christ, the Messiah, the anointed one of God. Now, oftentimes you hear that used financially. You hear that used of, you give money, you'll receive money. Give some, and it shall be given back to you. Check out the principle. What was he talking about before that scripture came up? Luke 6:38, that was the scripture. Now go back a few scriptures and find out what he's actually talking about. Bible scholar, go back and check it out. He's talking about forgiveness. Mic drop. He's talking about love. He's talking about mercy. He's talking about grace. And the amount of grace you give to somebody else will be measured back to you. The amount of forgiveness that you give to somebody else will be measured back to you. The amount of understanding, the amount of care, the amount of trust, the amount of exuding your, everything that you give will be given back to you. There's another scripture that says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, he shall also reap." What do you sow? Do you have a cause? Is there some reason why you work? I'm telling you, in my life, I've experienced joy. Oh, man. Now, most of you know already, I like to laugh. Laughing is a part of joy, but it's not the actual root of joy. Okay? Laughing is a side effect. It's a byproduct. It's something that happens just as a result of something being funny. And I have a tendency, because I'm a humorous kind of person, to be humored by a lot of things. So I find things funny, and it just makes me laugh. But don't get me wrong. Don't think for one second that Al is not absolutely serious. Al is serious. I'm a very serious person. My wife will tell you that. Okay? And I don't mean that in a mean way or negative way. I'm not so serious to where I'm just rude or hard to live with. No. But she knows that, as crazy as I am and as laughable as I like to be, I'm a very serious individual. Okay? You can ask anybody who knows me, who truly knows me, and they will let you know, yeah, Al is goofy, but when it comes to things that are important, Al will be very, very serious. The reason why I say that is because the deep down joy of my life, the deep down joy that what I get fulfillment out of, that's what I'm talking about. What I get fulfillment out of is serving. Serving. Yeah, you heard me right. Serving. What do you mean serving? Serving others. Being there for someone. Being able to do something for someone that's in my capacity to do. Now, I'm never going to put my family out because I'm trying to do something for somebody else. But to the extent that I'm able to do something for others, it gives me joy. When I grew up, my sister and I, we grew up, of course, in church with my parents. And for many years, we would have dinners after church on Sunday. Always free. Always free. Never, ever charged a soul. Never sold anything in the church. Never. Never. Never, 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 never. I hope you hear what I'm saying. Never sold anything. So, we would have dinners. My parents would cook, or some of the ladies in the church would cook. Sometimes the men in the church would cook. And what would happen is, in the early days when it was just a few of us, my sister and I would go around. We would clean off tables. We would collect garbage. We would fill people's drinks, beverages if they had Kool-Aid or something like that, or iced tea. We would go around with pitchers and we would fill those. We would direct people to their seats. We would go for seniors and fix their plates if necessary. I'm talking about from a little age. I'm talking, 8, 9, 10 on up. So serving for me is very natural. It's as natural as breathing. It's as natural as going jogging. It's as natural as anything. That's just my personality. I understand everybody didn't grow up like that. I'm not trying to say that my life was perfect or more better than yours. But what I'm saying is, for me, what I have come to find is that there is a level of joy that comes from giving something of yourself to others that nothing can pay for. I don't care how much money you get. I don't care how much fame or notoriety you get. It will never supersede you being able to give to others. Do you know? I feel like I'm rambling. Am I rambling? Do you know that wealth is not measured by how much you receive? Now, some of you who understand what I'm talking about, economist people, I understand. Some of you, you understand. It's not about how much money I receive. It's about how much money I can give. That's what true wealth is measured by. That's what true wealth is measured by. How much I can give. Is there something going on that you can contribute to? Is there a cause in your life? Can you take some of your talent and be a blessing somewhere in your community. I understand it's necessary for us to travel and go all over the world and proselytize people all the way over in 50 different countries. And I'm not against that. Missions, we need missions. We need more missions. Jesus says, pray that the Lord will send laborers into the harvest field because it's ripe. I get that. But there are people right next door. People right next door to you. Have you reached out to them at all? Are you trying to do anything for them? There are people in your community. Are you trying to do anything for them? You've got talent. You've got skill. You've got know-how. You've learned certain things just as a result of your occupation. Can you utilize that to be a blessing in some kind of way? Is there a cause in your life? Is there a cause? Have you ever, and maybe somebody will, okay, I see so many people on right now. I got to just say hello to some of you. Brother Jonathan Green, man, you know I love you, bruh. Do we always see eye to eye on everything? It's okay, but I love you still, man, and I know you love me too. Davina, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being a part of today. Brother Walter Holloway, hey, man, you never called me back. I'm looking forward to a call. I want to hear how things are going in your life. And let's see who else we have here. Sister Shenarda Harris, an incredible woman of God. You want to find out how to get your finances together, since we are kind of talking about that in between, everything else I'm talking about. Check her out, Shenarda Harris. Go to her Facebook page, CHENAUDA, CHENAUDA Harris. Find out what she's offering. She also has a program right here on Worship Radio International. Sister Kalita Blair Dixon, God bless you. Love you. High school friend. We go way back, way back, way back. Like babies and pacifiers. Good Vibes joined in. Hey, Jerome, man, how you doing? How are those little ones? Good to see you, brother. And Lola James, it's good to see you as well. Andrea Mill. Now, I don't even have to say anything. Love you. Love Kevin. Love to the little ones. So good to see you. I hope one day we'll be able to see each other again. I know God is blessing you. Told you it was going to happen, didn't I? I told you. And he's not done. He's not done. God is not done with you. God is not done with you. So let me finish up because I only got a few minutes left. I'm hoping that you will find a way to sow your talent. Another thing I'm hoping that you will sow is your time. What do you mean by that? Take time. Maybe you can consider designating 1 hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week. Here's an idea. I'm just throwing something out random, okay? Here's an idea. Maybe with whatever your profession is, you can sow an hour or two out of a week, find some young people in middle school or high school, because you need to start around that age, and talk to them about what it is that you do. Give them an opportunity to see what it's like, maybe shadow you for a day. When I got into high school, I knew I wanted to go some kind of way into aeronautics. So I applied to one school and one school only. That was Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I was accepted. I went down to Daytona Beach, Florida. Aerospace engineer. That was my degree. Guess what? I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. Why? Because I didn't know anything about aerospace engineering, especially in the black community. Who you hear talking about being an aeronautical engineer? Come on now. There was no books about it. At that time, we were still on Encyclopedia Britannica. Internet was just maybe starting to raise its eyelid a little bit. So I didn't have anybody that I could talk to and say, hey, what is it like to be an aerospace engineer or aeronautical engineer in aviation, avionics? I didn't have anything. All I knew was I liked airplanes. I knew I liked Superman. And I went to school based on that information, and I hated it because I had no one to talk to. If you are a professional in any way, shape, or form, if there's anything that you do, I don't care if it's just answering the phone and getting coffee at a job, take some of that talent, take some of that skill set, and talk to a young person and say, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? If so, let me show you what it's actually like. to walk a mile in my shoes. For those of you who are lawyers, for those of you who are doctors, for those of you who do whatever you do, police officers, you name it. Teachers, whatever you do, find someone who might be interested in doing what you're doing and say, hey, this is what it's like. I'd love to show you what my day is like, and let them see it. Show them the good, bad, and the ugly. Give them an opportunity to do better than I did and save $20,000 for 1 year. You can give. That's my whole point. Give to something. Give beyond yourself, right? And then when you are unable to reach a certain area because you do not have the way to be there, you sold your time locally, you sold your talent locally, or maybe even online, then let your finances reach where you can't. So find somewhere that is helping people. Find a local church. Find a local recreation center or community center or children's center or something. Find something to where your finances can reach further than your arms will allow. And that's how you have a cause. That's how you complete that cycle in your life so that the loop isn't broken. If you're not sending out, nothing is coming in. Cast your bread upon the water. Remember that scripture, y'all? And it'll come back after many days. If you're not sending something out, nothing is coming in. We're always looking to get something in so that we can send something. No. Give something first. I also talked about that this past Sunday. How much time I got left? I talked about that this past Sunday. The topic, when we're still in the foundation series that I started telling you about before the summer, we're still in the foundation series, 12 foundations. The last week, this past Sunday, the foundation topic was sowing and reaping. And I talked about this time of famine that was going on in the Bible, this time of famine. And the Lord tells this prophet, Elijah, to go to a widow woman's house because he has already set it up for her to be able to take care of him in this time of famine. He goes there. She's gathering some sticks and he says, hey, can you get me some water? She says, cool, I can go do that. He says, and then while you're on the way, can you make me some bread, corn cake, kind of thing. And she said, listen, all I have is a little bit, he said, can you make me something to eat? And she said, all I have is a little bit of oil. I have a little bit of meal and I got these 2 sticks. That's all I got left. I'm going to go home. I'm going to cook this, and then we're going to eat it, my son and I, and then we're going to die. That was all the expectation she had. The famine was that bad. And he says, no problem. Go ahead. Do whatever you were going to do. He says, but first, make something for me to eat. And I'm sure she's thinking, fool, did you hear what I just said? I just said all I got is a little bit of oil and a little bit of meal. I got these 2 sticks. I'm going to make a fire. I'm going to cook this and we're going to eat it and then we're going to die. He says, go ahead. Yeah. But first, make one for me. Make a cake for me first. And she does it. And God sustains her through the entire famine. She never runs out of oil. She never runs out of meal because she extended from her own depletion, if you will. She gave from her own self and she put somebody else first. Now, there's many ways I could go with that if we talk spiritually, but I'm trying to stay practical in the sense of where everybody can feel what I'm saying. That's what you need. You're missing out if you're not giving. You're missing out if you're not sharing. You're missing out if you are not blessing someone with what God has blessed you with. I know there have been some comments and I want to read some of them. Let's see. Oh, well, of course, hearts. Andrew Emil, couldn't agree more. Power of information and experiential learning, give back. There you go. So for those of you who are watching, we still have maybe a minute or 2 left. What is your cause? What talent do you have? Share that in the comments section. Maybe somebody knows somebody who can help you get what you need. Or maybe somebody knows somebody who knows somebody that can direct you to a person who needs what you have. So if you would be willing to put into the comment section, says, hey, this is what I do for my occupation. This is what I do for my career. This is what I do for my trade. This is what I have a talent in, whatever it is. And then use this as a community to be able to connect to somebody else and say, hey, you know what? I got some work that I need done, and I think you would be just the person to do it. And maybe just by donating or sharing or showing some love, it's not always about money. You can get so much more sometimes just by giving. I can't tell you the number of times where just giving, sharing from the heart has opened a door that would not have opened had I put in a resume. You see what I'm saying? It's not about money. Sometimes it's not about the degree you have. How many people are absolutely working right now in the degree that they received from college? How many people are actually working in that degree or that field? How many of us are? You see what I'm saying? So don't worry about is this is not in line necessarily. What do you have a gift with? Some of you can cook and bake and oh my goodness, you share that with someone. Do you know how many people visit people in a nursing home? You would think just because you're probably busy too. Oh, I'm sure they got somebody to come visit. There are some people who never have a visitor. I'm not trying to pull on your heartstrings. I'm not trying to make you sad. All I'm saying is there's somebody who could use your company, your time. You could just spend some time with them. You could just go and read a book to them. You could go talk about the weather. Maybe you can just go and let them talk about whatever they want to talk about, and you just listen. Maybe you could just sit there in the room with a senior in a nursing home for a little while. And maybe you can just watch TV together for a couple hours. And then you say, you know what? All right. Well, I think I'll see you next week. And we'll watch some more TV. And if you got something to talk about, let me know. Maybe you could do that. Just a few hours. Just a few hours. For those of you who go regularly to church, or at least say that you are a member of a church, maybe you can donate some time and some talent to help push the ministry forward. Maybe you can send some resources if you absolutely physically just can't be there, and you know whether you can or not. But I'm sure that if you can't reach there with your arms, send some finance, send some resources so that others can be blessed. And in doing so, you will experience more fulfillment than you could imagine. It's truly more blessed to give than to receive. It's really an honor to give. It's really an honor to give. Gift, career readiness. I know that's right. So that's if I'm understanding, that's what you do, right? You're counseling young people and getting them ready for their career, or get them on the path to the career that they want to be on. Counseling, in a sense. I don't know if you call it legally counseling, or I know you said career readiness. I'm old. You got to forgive me. I'm old. Back in the day, that's what they called it, career counseling. But career readiness, I understand. No liabilities here. Right? So career readiness. But that is absolutely incredible. I would love, and I know you do this, professionally for a wonderful university, but I would love if there could be a way to talk to young people inside of churches. If you haven't done that already, I would love for that to be the case. Get people starting to think about what that looks like now, so that they can prepare themselves and have the right mindset. Young people in the church, for example, young people in my church, to talk to them and say, hey, have you started thinking about this? Have you started thinking? I ain't got to tell you how to do it. You know how to do your job. But I would love for that to be that's what I'm talking about. Whatever it is. Okay, so I was right on point. So whatever it is that you do, and I'm talking to everyone, and I'm about to end this. Whatever it is that you do, find a way to give something. Give something. Give of yourself. Find a cause in your life. Something that inspires you, something that encourages you, something that uplifts you, something that fulfills your heart. Because it's not going to be paying bills your whole life. It's not going to be trying to get through rush hour traffic. That's if it hasn't gotten tired already, it will. It will. Okay. Many people, you've heard it said probably over the years, most people have their first heart attack on the way to work Monday morning between 7 and 8 a.m., going to do something that they absolutely hate. They have no life in it. They have no fulfillment in it. They have no excitement in it. And because of that, they go into stress so bad that it causes cardiac situations, medical issues. Find something that you can love to do. Find something that you can enjoy doing. And maybe you're already doing it and you just don't realize how much you enjoy it because you never put passion into it. Maybe your have to needs to become your get to. I get to do this for my family. I get to do that for my wife. I get to do that for my husband. I get to do this for my children. Somebody wants to. You're better off than you think you are. I promise you that. That's it for me. I got to get out of here. But I'm going to say this before I go. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Sister Andrea and Aaron, my man. I am a graphics artist. This is Aaron. Aaron is saying I'm a graphics artist by trade. I am currently in a job where I am not using it. I would like to go back to it. And I can't see the rest of it. It's not popping up. But I know he is the man when it comes to graphics, okay? I've seen his work. Say what, sir?
Have him call me.
Yeah. Call Prophet Blaine Irving. I'll make sure you get the telephone number, okay? He's incredible. And a good brother, too. I'm talking about a good brother. A good brother. Loves his children. Good man. Real good man. So we'll make that. See how that just happened right there? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So I got to go for now. And I will definitely message you, Andrea, so that we can connect and do that. I think it's absolutely necessary. I'm telling you, I'm sure my parents would have been happy instead of spending that $20,000 for 1 year. My goodness. Boom. That's it. I love you all. Come back next week. We're going to have more to talk about. So, have a cause. Give, and you'll get a lot in return. Don't give to get. Give because it's right. Give because it's good. But the benefits are out of this world. I love you all. God bless you. See you next week.
This is Prophet Blaine, and you are listening to Worship Radio International, the world's #1 online Christian radio station.